I was in the market,
What's your name?
Tim, and I'm an alcoholic, and a lot of other things. I was in the market the other day, and the guy in front of me had 2 half-gallons of gin. And I thought, wow, that's nice. That's really nice. Then I started to think about it a while after I got out of there. I go, geez, 2 half-gallon, that's like a week's worth of alcohol. And I started to think about, what I was, because, and thank you for asking me. Patrick had asked me about this, and I said, I'm lucky to be alive. Back in 2006, on March 14th, I made the decision because I was depressed, full of angst, anxious, pick them all. I needed to do something. And so I ended up going to a psychiatrist. Don't ask me how I got to a psychiatrist, but I got there. And he says, I pour my soul out, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, how many drinks do you take a night? And I said, 5, because I knew medical people double, whatever you tell them. Now, was I having 5 drinks? Yeah. Was I having 10? Maybe. But it was, after looking back, it was 2 half-gallons of gin in a week. And he said, well, you have to go next door. Go to Las Encinas, check in. And I thought, okay, and I'm a nice guy. I'm going, but really I'm going, you son of a bitch. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? Do you know who I am? So I got home, made the decision that, I've got a problem. And alcohol is one of them. I didn't think I had a problem. I was, in my family, everybody drinks, so it really doesn't matter. Everybody in my family is now passed on, but that's the way it goes. So I went the next day to Las Encinas, checked in, and stayed for 10 days. Insurance covered 10 days. That's what I stayed. I wasn't going to give them extra money. Got out on a Friday after 10 days, went home, had dinner, came back and went to a meeting at Las Encinas that night. I just didn't know what to do. So I started going to meetings. I started to go to participation meetings. Now, I am not one that was going to talk ever or read or do anything. Like I said, for me, getting up in front of you guys and talking, this is a gift. Because if people said, well, you need to share, go away. I'm not sitting next to you anymore. I'm sitting over here. So I did that. And then, I was doing that 2 or 3 times a week. I was really into it. I wasn't doing anything else. I didn't have a sponsor. I wasn't talking to people. I was just showing up. So I decided to do speaker meetings. And so I'd go Monday night, and that used to be my group, my home group on Monday night, corner of Orange Grove and Altadena, the home group. And I started going there every week, going there once a week. That's all I was doing. And I really wasn't getting anywhere. And then I wasn't getting better, and everybody said, well, you got to get it on to get better. I also, that I didn't mention, after 30 days, I started going to an addiction therapist. And I spent 8 years with that person. I'll get that out of the way. It helped me stay in the program because I don't know if I would have stayed if I didn't have this person to talk to. Because I sure as hell didn't have a sponsor. And so I took all the tips, 30, 90, whatever. Then I got to the point where it was the 1 year, I didn't take that. 2 year, I didn't take that chip either. 3 year, I didn't take that chip either. And I don't know, it's not like, oh, I'm so great. It was basically, I was afraid. I was scared. I didn't know what was going on, and I wasn't about to do anything that challenged me to do anything. And then I decided I took a commitment. So I'm 3.5 years into this, and I haven't taken a commitment. So I took a commitment. I was setting up chairs, and then I was a coffee guy. But this old timer comes up to me and he goes, "Well, you got a sponsor?" And I go, "Well, no, I don't." "Well, you got to get one." "No, well, whatever." And I see him next week. He was the coffee guy. I was the chair guy. "Yeah, you got to get a sponsor." Okay. So I went to a meeting, and it ended up being 2 guys there, me and this other guy. And that was it. That was the meeting. And I talked to him. He said, "Sure, I'll be your sponsor." So he started doing it. We started doing the stuff. He's a Pacific Group guy. Dragged me out to Pacific Group all the time. And okay, I'm going along, and I'm doing the stuff, and I'm going to more meetings. I started, I did the 15-minute talk. I did some 45-minute talks. So now, I'm getting better at this. I'm going to more meetings. I'm meeting more people. I'm actually doing everything. And I've got the sponsor, and I'm doing all the stuff, and I'm getting there. Now, they're going, "Well, wait for the miracle. You're going to get the miracle. Yeah, good things are going to happen." I'm going, "Okay, whatever you say, I'll see what happens." And so it got to a point, like I said, I've been lost in Cetus. I did step 1. I had a sponsor that didn't last too long, and we talked about step 2. And he said, "Well, you really got to believe. You really got to believe." And I'm going, okay, step 3, you really got, you're getting there. "Do you believe in God?" "Sure. Yeah, I believe in God. Yeah, I'm Catholic, for God's sakes." And it was, I believed, but I didn't believe, Did I have faith? No. I was there. I was just going through the motions. Everything was going through the motions. So I'm about 4 years into it, now 3.5. My daughter's friend, she had this friend since she was 3. She was about, I think they were 29, best buddies, and her friend's husband, she had just had a baby about a month before, and her best friend, this one girl that she knew since she was 3, and I knew her really well. I knew her family. Her husband, they went out drinking. It was her birthday. They were out having a good time. Some words were said, punch was thrown, the guy hit the pavement and he died. And I was a wreck. I didn't know how to handle this. I didn't know what to do. And I always thought, well, I could handle this. I handled my father dying, and he had died when he was 56. He died of a heart attack. A lot of that was overweight, a lot of it was alcohol, a lot of it was stress. But he was an older guy, and it didn't affect me as much as this affected me. And this young guy with everything to live for, and he died. And I had to come to terms with it, and I had to turn to God. I had to actually pray. I had to actually make an effort to embrace a higher being, and I'm going to call it God because that's what I believe, and I did that. And once I got to that point that, look, I'm turning myself over to God, and whatever I'm going to do, He's going to help me with. And I have to, on a regular basis, ask for help, because I make judgments, I make errors, I make this, I make that, and I can't be dwelling on it all the time. And I am one of those people that will dwell on something. If I have a little error or I say something wrong to somebody or do something, I'll stay up all night worrying about it. And I have to pray about it. And so, I got through that. My mother died 2010. My brother and I were there. I said we were going to unplug her. And I said, well, we got to stay with her. And he says, well, I thought we'd just leave. I said, no, she's going to die. So we stayed with her. He goes, well, this could take a day, it could take an hour. Well, it took about 3.5 hours. But, that's the way it is. And I was glad I was there. I'm glad I had the character or the courage to do that. And a lot of the stuff is, in the serenity prayers, God, give me the courage to do the things I need to do. And I need to pray for the courage to do the things I need to do. Because I am, I could easily say, no, it's no big deal. Oh, no, I can say that. I can do this. And I end up saying crap I shouldn't say. But, I ask forgiveness when I am wrong, when I say things wrong. And I try to do it promptly. Some of it I haven't done. I haven't, I went to a funeral for some other lady, a friend of my mother's, and one of her daughters said, you look like your dad. I got pissed off and left. I didn't get it. And I didn't ever apologize to her, but I'm going, that you're just a jerk, I don't know how that happens. So as I'm going along, I'm taking on more meetings. Like I said, I did that Monday night meeting every week. Took on more commitments, tried to speak as much as I could, did as many, whatever you call them. I'll remember, I'm getting older. Helping people, however you say that. What is that? Sponsor, thank you. Thank you. Woo, woo. This is sponsoring. And I get my story isn't really crazy. I got married at 22, had a kid, had to get married at 22, and still married to the same woman. And it's just that I just drank a lot, and so I got through that. And going to lots of meetings. And I was at a meeting where you shared for a half hour, and then they'd ask you questions. So I'm up there and I'm saying, well, my brother, my younger brother at the time, and this was back in 2019, 2018, my younger brother had multiple myeloma cancer. And my older brother had stage 4 prostate cancer. Like I said, pretty much they're all dead now. So, but so this old guy had about 30 years, goes, well, what are you doing? What are you doing about all this? And I went, I'm not doing anything. And I realized I was talking about it a little bit, but I wasn't talking about it much. And I wasn't doing anything for myself about the fact that both my brothers both had cancer and could be terminal. Basically, I kept talking to people. I went to more meetings. I took care of myself. I tried to open up as much as I could to other people. Of course, I think sometimes people were going, yeah, you talked about your brother already. Not you, Patrick. But he passed on in 2020. I go down and take care of him every week. He had 3 people take care of him. I'd go down on Tuesday and stay with him until Friday morning. And so that's what I did until he passed on. And we did that for months and months and months. I'm glad I was there. I'm glad I could be there for him. And it's, looking back, well, he had myeloma, and he thought the best idea was to keep drinking bottles upon bottles of wine. Now, that's his choice. He could do that. They told him to go to AA. He didn't want to do that. But I was there for him, and I'm glad I was. So my older brother lived for 4 years with his stage 4 prostate cancer, which was a miracle. And I was able to see him a lot, and I spent a lot of time with him. And he passed on in January. And I haven't been going to meetings. Am I happy about that? No. Do I need to go to more meetings? Probably. I had moved down to Costa Mesa, and I had gone to some meetings, but I really haven't gone to any more. I keep thinking I need to do stuff, need to get another sponsor, but I haven't done that. I don't feel crazy yet. I don't feel wild. I'm getting by, and just being here tonight is a big deal to me. Like I said, I haven't been to a meeting in a long time. Meeting all of you here, it's incredible. And to me, it's an incredible meeting when everybody comes up to you and says hi and asks you your name. It's just an incredible feeling, and I'm glad to be here. So thank you very much for letting me share.